Good afternoon. My name is Michael Wood, and I am your producer for today's show. We have lunch with Liz today to get a little bit more information about her platform, but really to find out what small businesses can do to ensure equity during this time of COVID-19. Liz Perez is running for Vista City Council, District 2. She's a Navy veteran, a small business owner that lives right here. She also served with CalVet for the California state and a bunch of other organizations. So she comes with a wealth of experience that she really wants to infuse into the Vista community. We also have Rob Howard today with us on the show. He is running for Oceanside Mayor for 2020. And we also have David Zamaya. I can't even say it right today. Founder of My North San Diego. And so both of them being on the show today definitely brings insights that as a community, we're North County. So it's not just silos of different cities. And so this will be a great discussion. And so without further ado, here is Liz Perez.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me and my guest for the first lunch with Liz. We're going to have many more discussions that are going to happen, but I just think during these times, this is so important. When I first decided to run for Vista City Council D2, this was in December, early December, mid-December of 2019, not knowing where we would be today. Fast forward to June 2020, a lot has happened. And now more than ever, I am convinced that this is the reason why this is the time to run. So today I'm bringing to you experts on business, experts on equity, and then also creativity. Creativity in business and innovation and government as well do exist. So let's just go ahead and I'm going to open up some of my thoughts here. And, I've known Rob for quite some time. And, I think a lot of how we met actually is within the clean energy industry. I have a company, general contracting consulting firm here in Vista. We're located right off of Main Street in Vista. And, in establishing my company over 10 years ago, it was part of my business plan to ensure that there was equity built into that plan. And what does equity mean? It's not, yes, there's equity, yes, at a financial standpoint, but equity meaning that we are including all. So as the governor says, it's a California for all, right? So we need to also have that down to the local level. It's important that we bring that message down to the local level. And how do we do that? How do we ensure that down to the local level that everybody will be included, that small businesses will grow? And, from my perspective, starting my business during the recession of 2008, I would be quite honest. When I transitioned from the military, I started going to different courses here, and it was locally. I went to the Oceanside Chamber, veteran at the time. David, I don't remember his last name, I apologize, but he's a Navy veteran. And then, was it Tom Olson? Back in, it was a while ago, forgive me. The Carlsbad Chamber, also a veteran. So it's veterans taking care of veterans. I am a veteran, Navy veteran, and that's how I got plugged in. But I'm also Native American. And my first course on how to start your Native business was with the American Indian Chamber of California. And the rest is history. And it is about taking care of our own, and it starts locally. And with that, if things progress and as looking forward as an elected official, I will ensure that we do include local. And any building that we do within Vista, I want to have written within our request for proposals that there are small businesses included. Small business must be included, and then also local hire. And that was kind of our discussion earlier today, Rob, about local hire. And if you don't mind just kind of elaborating on that, because I love your idea on the Innovation Center. And then from there, I want to also chime in David, because I know he has a bit of time here, but I wanted to also hear your ideas on the 78 corridor in North County in general.
Well, first, thank you, Liz, for inviting me. I really do appreciate being here with David. I would just say that local hire is critically important, but my thoughts on it is that we need to go a little deeper than that. One, a business has requirements when you start talking about what they need to do to provide a service. So we need to start looking at how we ensure that the people locally are trained and available. It's really important. If a business loves, I mean, as a business owner, you want to be in an area where there are people who are qualified and available. And so one of my dreams for Oceanside is to we look at our lowest socioeconomic district in the city and then have an innovation center. That innovation center is one of the places where we can actually train people to how to start and connect them with our local community colleges, because there's a biotech manufacturing program there. There's other areas. If we're going to draw business and then require them to have local hire, prevailing wage, and we need to ensure that we have people ready to go. So I want to make sure that's one of the things we do, is to make sure we have the training and support system available for our communities.
Absolutely. And, I'll take that even a step further, Rob. How about we have that center at the Vista Oceanside border, right? Why not? Let's make that.
So sounds like to me we've already started our North County negotiations about how but bringing the cities together is really going to be critical, because most of the issues that you hear people talking about, they're not one city issues. Right. If you talk about housing, you talk about homelessness, you talk about business innovation and development. Imagine what we could do if we were able to communicate across the line. We're connected, so let's figure out ways to work together.
Right. And David, you're gonna connect us, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you.
And that's how we connected, actually, because I was like, wow, this is exactly what I really want to hear, because I thought it was just me thinking this, but no, I found other leaders like yourself.
There's people out there, and Rob, that was a great intro, Rob, to what we've been on this soapbox for the last 5-6 years. I think between Escondido and Oceanside, we have 5 cities, and the communication is never going to be to what we expect out of the city of San Diego. I was sharing with Liz, is like the population of North County is over 1 million people. And San Diego City is the same exact population. And look at the difference between 10 cities communicating versus San Diego City and communicating. So I'll be honest with you, I'm not politically, so I just threw in the towel and I go, well, let's go digitally. Let's go away. It's not happening. So my soapbox is, okay, we can't maybe do this personally and touch each other and hold hands, but digitally we can. So I created this digital platform that how do we bring North County together? It's my soapbox, it's my passion. And we go North County definition from the Economic Development Council, which defines it the 56 corridor and above, not just the 78 corridor. So we're really focusing on all the North County exclusive, inland and coastal. So that's what we've been doing. And I share your guys' passions. How do we get along? How do we work along? Can't we just get along and work together and collaborate?
Right. And, especially during COVID, when everything happened, what I noticed is one city was on top of things with their messaging in terms of the risk of COVID. And you're talking like days, like first 3 days initially, not even a weekend. And other cities they just weren't there yet. And I'll just say it, one of them being Vista. And we just more responsive, I would say responsive, and not kind of that planning piece. And I really definitely want to be there on the planning piece. And I love what you're mentioning, Rob, and on the Innovation Center, because I worked at an Innovation Center when I first started, like a hub, right? So you have everything there. And it's so important, David, that, as you mentioned, that we're not working in these silos and that we are communicating. And there's a lot of opportunities here. And it is important as governments, as cities, that we do within whatever work that we're putting out there, that we are including small business. And I know you have to get going here, David. So I just wanted to hear a little bit more about the work you've done in the past and what you'd like to share.
Well, you know what, I've taken this lead as far as supporting small businesses specifically, because the large companies, I mean, they have resources. I mean, where's Sony's headquarters in North America? Isn't it in Rancho Bernardo? I'm not specifically sure. So we have Sony on one side, then you have Genentech in Oceanside, you have Thermo Fisher and Carlsbad, you have all these large companies. Our great backyard business, Homebred, I think was Dr. Bronner's soap. We have a lot of different companies, but we have a lot of suppliers that supply those companies, and those are local. And that's what small business is here. It could be from an insurance agent, it could be from janitorial services, it could be from a marketing consulting services. Is reaching out to those local businesses. What we've been doing is trying to advocate for those individuals or small businesses and get them out there. So by digital marketing, by doing online networking events, by doing face-to-face coffee meetups and roundtables and business tips and insight, that's where I see that I've been trying to carry this passion. And again, I'm not using blinders on just looking at one city, one community. I mean, I'm personally a member of the Carlsbad Chamber, Escondido Chamber, Fallbrook Chamber, Poway Chamber, Vista and San Marcos. I mean, I worked at the Oceanside Chamber for several years under David, great manager over there. It's how do you bring all these together? So that's where I'm at, and we're doing that one step at a time. But it's trying to get the voice out there, and we got people that believe it. But we're trying to hit 1 million people.
Right.
So far, I think so far on Facebook we're at 8,000, and collectively with all the platforms we're at 12,000. But again, we're 8,000 people on Facebook talking about North County, not just talking about our neighborhood next door. It's everything across the street.
Right. And I think what we can also do as government is you already have all these resources right here, and that's workforce development. Right. And on with that, if you go onto their website, they talk about the different jobs that are available, but you're talking as a blanket, as a whole. But within our cities, and this one's for you, Rob, within our cities, we can take it that much further, right?
Absolutely.
Further, not only just to say, okay, well, there's workforce development, go to their website, they have jobs, right? They're all listed right there. But our city,
Well,
Vista, can go
one
that
of the
much further.
One of the things I think we as city officials can really focus on a couple of things that I think will help simplify how we're thinking and make it a lot easier for people to understand in the community. Like one, when you start talking about supporting small businesses, focus on the fact that those small businesses are the ones that are going to be hiring our young people. They're the ones that are going to be actually helping Little League, Pop Warner, and doing those micro investments in our community. So if you had no other reason to support small business, it's because they're supporting the community. And so another thing is, we have to figure out a way in government to streamline the process. If I go down to City Hall and I got this big, huge development or something I want to do, there's someone in the planning department will probably walk me through the entire process. So we need to take that same mindset and use that when we're talking about how to do things like ensure that our workforce development piece is together. And we have to and it's not just about the cities. When we start talking about North County, we have to really have a good relationship with the county, whether it is services for people who need health care, whether it is other items in the county. If we have a better relationship with the county and the individual cities, we can also focus on best practices. Who's doing something right? And we need to share that with everyone else. And so that's where I think we can keep things moving forward. It's about knowledge, taking the best of the best and sharing it with the rest of the county. So the website, I'm going to, Dave, I'll be sharing it with my network, because I think that's critical, and we need to get you up to 16,000. So let's see what we can do.
Yes, definitely. And in regards to workforce development, even having a rapid response, like job listing, like the Genentechs of the world, or what was it? Is it Sony? There's so many different DJO. A lot of the larger corporations, it's crossing those lines, like government, yes, meeting corporate and introducing yourself to see what type of jobs are out there, but also including that conversation with workforce development. And I've heard it so many times, especially working in Sacramento, like, well, that's not our job.
Right.
That's not what we do. This is what we do. This is our box. We don't go beyond that box. Guess what? It's not your normal time. These are not typical times. These are times where you need that innovation, that creativity. That's not even, that's really not too much to ask for, especially during these times. It's not time to sit back and say, well, that's not our job. That's not what we do. You need to go elsewhere. This is a time where we need the leaders to connect and to connect our people to jobs. Because the last time I checked, this is pretty alarming. I want to say this time last year, Vista was at 2 to 4% unemployment. And please chat if this is incorrect, but the last time I heard, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, Vista was at 34% unemployment. 34. That's high. Look at the times. These are not normal times. So we're going to need all of the collaboration and innovation as we can. So I know, David, you have to go, and let's go ahead and I'll let you just close off since I know you have to exit out here soon.
Yeah, no, it's just, I think taking advantage of the resources we have with the business associations, the chambers of commerce is really engaging all those and asking these entrepreneurs and these startups to really get active with those chambers. You got to you get stronger in a community than if you're just by yourself. So this workforce development, the innovation centers, is how do you engage the business associations that are out there representing our city? So that's what I'm advocating for, and for us to all collaborate at once. So, I mean, everybody wants an innovation center in their community, but can we make one that's regional?
Right.
The SBDC that's out there with Maricosta College in Carlsbad off El Camino Real and Palomar Port Road. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if we had some of those resources in the Vista San Marcos area, or even in the Escondido area, or even after our lower demographics or our ethnic communities are out there, is cater to some of those individuals, which are a great percentage of our small businesses. So we're here and trying to communicate our message, but again, be a resource of at least we may not have the funding like these other associations and these other groups, but we have a digital network. And the last time I saw, engaging on Facebook is pretty free so far. We'll see how long that lasts. Of course, you can always advertise and monetize, but it's just share your message across a digital platform, be it whatever it is. So I encourage and invite anybody that wants to do that. We could share messages, or we could just do our workshops and do that. So I support whatever we can, keeping everything equitable. So it's a large company or small company. We want to be able to get that message across the board.
Right. Well, thank you, David. And yes, so along with that, I just want to thank you again for your time. And let's just continue this conversation. Let's continue to grow it. Definitely.
Well, keep me posted. And I'm off to another business meeting right now. So thanks for your time and good luck on everything.
Thank you.
Good to see you, David.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, Rob, I know that we're both here. You're running for Oceanside Mayor. And I want to talk about, of course, there's the business side of things. And that's how I started. I've had my company for about 10 years. And then I've had people ask me, well, how did you get into politics? How did you get in government? Well, first, my answer is, well, I already served in the military. So this is my second go around in government. But, as on my personal standpoint, my mom, being Mono Indian, we're from Norfolk Renteria. My dad is from Mexico, became a citizen after during his service in the Army. And coming from that community, I come from that community where there is the underrepresentedness of I guess that label. And I know what it feels like. And when I transitioned from the when my dad transitioned from the Army, it was a transition for all of us. And there was tough times. And unfortunately, due to his medical condition, he had passed away. And it was my teenage years. And my personal side, when I transitioned from the Navy, I struggled as well. And I transitioned right into homelessness. And I ended up at the Motel 6 off the 5 on Palomar Airport Road. And I'll tell you, I think I might have said this last segment I had, I was pregnant and I had a young daughter already, almost 7 years old. I was 5 months pregnant, and it was not the most desirable place to be as a woman or anybody in general. And I knew I had to get it together. And that part of finding what I can do immediately. And now the answer for me was entrepreneurship, to create my own destiny, to create my own wealth, and also to do for others. And 10 years later, 11 years later, here I am. I'm running for Vista City Council District 2. And look at these times that we're in right now. And part of my run as well is running, but running for a purpose. Running for Native American social justice issues, running for so many things, running to get the word out that I would love to see more of my California Native brothers and sisters run as well for office. But first elected official, California Native American elected official, was just elected in 2018. In 2018, this is real. This is real stuff. And another statistic, and actually I was given this on California Native American Day on September 27th, 2018. Out of 1,000 appointees, when I was appointee under Governor Brown and then later under Governor Newsom, out of 1,000 appointees, only 2 of us were California Native Americans. And that was the governor's advisor, tribal advisor, advocate, and also myself at the time as serving as deputy secretary. And I'm, fast forward to 2020 here today, there's a long way we got to go. And there's a lot of systemic barriers that we have within our government system that are not, I don't know if it's meant to be that way. I just don't think that our leadership in Sacramento level to the county level to even the local level even know the barriers that they're creating for people like myself and like my family that are still, suffering from, how would you say, some of the institutionalized barriers or hurdles we have to go through to ensure that there is that equity, right? And that's why I want to promote more natives to run so we don't have these barriers. And, I want to add on to that. Hopefully, I would like you to add on to that if you can, just kind of hearing my background. I wanted to hear a little bit more of that. And that's not just business, but we also have to have the right policies in place to ensure that there is equity as well.
Well, I would say what you're doing, sometimes it seems lonely, but it is incredibly important, and here's why. When you are blazing a trail, it can feel lonely, but what I always recommend to people, and that's why I'm really big on collaboration. And because particularly now you see all the issues going on Black Lives Matter, and I am talking to a number of people that genuinely did not recognize that these things were happening. When they see something happening on a video or hear about it on the news, their thought process and their implicit bias goes immediately to, well, they must have done something wrong. But I think one of the things that has come out of COVID is that people have had an opportunity to sit at home, and younger generations are now spending more time with their parents, where normally one's off to work, this one's doing this. They're not sitting there having these conversations. And they're also, because of COVID and lockdowns, they've had a chance to look at these things over and over again, hear a bunch of different views. So your work when you're running and how do you grow it, trust me, I see it when I think there may be 2 African-American elected officials in the county. The numbers might be wrong, but we can check that. But the goal is to continue to move forward. And I tell people, and I tell them all the time, you look at all the things, and if you focus on the parts that get you down, it will get you down. But I am just a hopeaholic. I tell people I'm a hopeaholic. I believe if we work hard at what we're doing, if we bring the resources, and it's not just money. Some of those resources are people. There are people who want to see you get there. And so what we have to do is continue to communicate with our network and have people just really believe, look, it may look hard because it is hard. But just because it's hard doesn't mean we stop working. One of the things my brother told me, he said, man, we have to get back to the American way. And the American way is we see a challenge, we take it on, and we go after victory. And so while it may be difficult, I tell people it's not just the American way. For me in Oceanside, it'll be the Oceanside way. We look at these challenges, we take them on, we invite people in, we have tough conversations, and then we shoot for success. The American way is the way we need to have things done today.
Absolutely. And you're a veteran.
Yes.
And
We're
Go
both
ahead.
Navy veterans.
Navy, yeah. So go Navy, go Navy. Just
Well, it
my
was
dad
really
was Army. He did say go Navy.
yeah. I was just going to say that I had no idea I was going to have a 30+ year career as a control operator at Edison. But you know what? It was because of my Navy background. So one of the things we should make sure that our young people understand that as an option. A lot of our young people don't have those options. I am increasingly thankful for the opportunity to have spent time in the Navy, and that's where I learned my skills in order to have such a long career. And it's been wonderful for me, my family. It is just exciting to know what can happen when we give our communities opportunities. We should do it for small business. We should do it for young people, and also a group that we oftentimes don't spend time talking about are our seniors. There's a lot of
Oh my
knowledge
goodness. Yeah,
and
thank you for saying
information
that.
to be able to sit down with them and really have conversations, because their conversations and knowledge and information being implanted in every generation. Let's take advantage of that. I mean, our campaign, one of the things we're doing is we're literally calling seniors and doing wellness checks, because bottom line is when they tell you you can't come outside, I don't know who's alone, but I can tell you a conversation can make all the difference in the world. So what you're doing, Liz, I'm just going to tell you, keep your head up. Recognize that just because it's tough, it doesn't mean it's impossible. It's only, as Nelson Mandela talked about, it's only impossible until it's done. So
Right.
just know, keep focused on what I call the American way. That means see that challenge, take that challenge, and let's keep doing it. We see the
Absolutely.
challenge. Yes.
100%. So I have a very big challenge, and this is my own. This goes back to my tribe. This goes back to who I am as a person, our tribal history, and why I'm running today. And my grandmother always said, you know, don't forget who you are.
Mhm.
You're native. You're native. We're fighters. We're always here, and you will remind them that we'll always be here. We're here. So where I'm getting at is on June 30th, I'm gonna run from Fort Tejon, California, to Madera, back home. Our people were at a native Indian prison camp there at Fort Tejon, and not just our tribe, but many others actually here from San Diego as well, and the Chumash tribe. And I'm going to run 215 miles back home to Madera. And I'm doing this to create awareness for my tribe, Norfolk Rancheria, Mono Indians, all California Native American Indians, and to ensure that our message is clear, and that message is that we are still here, and also to empower the next generation to run. Just like you had said, this is for the next generation. We all need to run, whether that's getting involved, whether that's running for a local office, or that's running to start your business and to hire your local community or within your tribal business, whatever that might be. But we do need to get motivated. These are the times. And I just want to thank you, Rob, for being here today and supporting me and getting this message out, because we all need to run.
Well, let's and like I said, on the screen, you got the website. Connect with us. It's Rob Howard, the #4mayor.com. By joining the team, I tell people everyone can do something. If you did nothing else but send it out on social media, our social media hashtag is the same on all the platforms. Is at Rob Howard, the #4mayor. But you know, people can contribute. They can help us make calls. Oceanside is different than Vista. Oceanside is a city that does not have contribution limits. So we're having to work really hard to make that happen, but we're excited about it. And I just want you to know, get me information about how we can get the word out about the run, because if we don't share information about other people's history, we miss an opportunity to learn where we can break down barriers. We
Yes.
can help support our community. And when people in our community know they're being supported, guess what they're able to do? They're able to support someone else. And before you know it, we're working through our issues. We do it together. We don't do it siloing ourselves away. We do it by coming together and actually having tough conversations with people that we might not always agree with. Because I love Oceanside. And you know what? I'm going to be in Oceanside, which means, and if I plan to be mayor of Oceanside, it's not mayor for South Morro Hills or mayor for Rancho Del Oro. It is the entire city. And one of the responsibilities that you take on is that you have to be regional in your thinking, not just the coastal cities, but the 78 corridor and North County. So I'm excited about the possibilities. Glad that you're really moving this ball forward, and I'm excited, and I'll be watching. I'll be watching, and I'll be working.
Well, thank you again, Rob. So yeah, go to Vista, vote Perez. And yes, keep tuned on to that run. There's going to be some more information on what's happening. Actually, we are going to have a commercial on that run and what that message is and what it's for.
Nice.
It's for our next generation. It's to empower people to get busy. Let's get moving and building that Oceanside strong, building that Vista strong. Let's do it. All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay,
All right.
Rob.
Thank you, Liz.
All right. Take care.
All righty.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, David. He had to step out earlier today. We have a few parting words, but one of the things that I definitely wanted to make sure that I wanted to thank the audience. We had a lot of great comments come in today from Dean and Karen and Nikki, Rod. So thank you for your participation in the show today. The banners for Rob, I'll put it up one more time. So if you didn't get Rob's website, definitely get it now. It's important. This is North County. This is Oceanside. This is Vista. This is, Escondido-ish. Call that. We're North County, so we're trying to bring all this together. And we're excited about, I'm excited with Perez and her campaign for running, but not only running for Vista, but for her tribe, for the city, for the region. And so, you can find Liz, on the website. You can also check out Facebook. So live streaming events, Lunch with Liz. One thing that would definitely help out Liz, I would say, and I think same thing for you, Rob, on that fundraising piece is Vista's a little bit different, but Liz could use your support. And every little bit helps. So if you're not a social media guru or if you're not out there, this is one way that you can help, and every little dollar, she's not just putting it into a campaign that only serves her. It's the community. It's the people. It's quite interesting. So definitely check that out. There's a link on your screen. I'll put the link in the chat a little bit so everybody can share it. But with that, I was going to hand it over to Liz for her parting comments, and I'll bring some comments up from our guest on Facebook. So, Liz?
Sure. So join us next Thursday with Lunch at Liz. You'll see some of our posting. We're going to try to keep it around the same time. I think that makes sense to kind of keep things uniform. And Lunch at Liz every Thursday around 1:15 on Thursdays. And then by next Thursday, it's going to be interesting because you're going to see a lot of change within the next week going towards that run, the 215-mile journey I'll be taking, along with some very, how would you say, well, some of my tribal members, but a lot of history. So I don't want to give up too much. A lot of history from the 70s. I was born in 78. A lot happened in 78 when it comes to Native American history. And again, Vista Vote Perez. And yes, we can use your support. We can use your support on whether that's social media, whether that's calling, or even, of course, your fund on the fundraising side of things. So you can donate monthly. You can donate as little as, I believe, even $5 a month if you'd like, until election, or up. I think the cap is 480 here in Vista. But every little bit helps. Everything does help. And I tell you, it goes miles and miles away. And that means into generations. It means into small businesses here. And again, I just want to thank our guests, David and Rob, and looking forward to seeing everyone next Thursday.
All right. Thank you, Liz. It's been great.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you.